WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Town Square Media Station. 100.9. W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9.
Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama Pittsburgh.
That feels good. Oh, that could have been where you were. I could out of the way of that. I believe I could have run behind you.
Streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, guys, we got right. Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. Martin Houston Show fan page on Martin Houston Live on YouTube and Facebook, and also at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It's a Monday morning, beautiful Monday morning, an opportunity that we have to rejoice and be glad in, because this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Go out there and be a difference maker. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Ready for a great show. Coming off of another good weekend for the Alabama Crimson Tide, despite the score being a lot closer than most predicted. I like to look inside the numbers, not just at the final score, and see what Alabama did or didn't do, and whether or not it's something they can build on. But Alabama getting out of Bryant-Denny with the 42-35 win, and things continuing to move along. Goals still intact, securing a bid into the SEC championship game with only one loss on the season. So if they take care of their business, they can still walk the dog and be SEC champions and play and win a national championship. But I guess the question that many Alabama fans are asking is, can they do it? Have we gotten used to blowing people out and think that that's the only way you can be a good football team or be a championship football team, is if you're blowing everyone out? And that's where we're at in a nation of Crimson Tide football. So let's look inside the numbers at Alabama. Of course, you could always be the other guys on the other side of the state and be an Auburn Tigers fan, and losing to South Carolina and several other unexpected losses over the last couple of weeks. Mississippi State, A&M, Auburn struggling. And I just said this was not a very good Auburn team. And I think they got worse with TJ Finley. But we'll see. We are going down there to play. And a lot of people think of voodoo, but we'll see what happens. But for coming off of Alabama versus Arkansas, we're going to look at good, bad, and ugly. We're going to look at players of the game. May not be too much. We almost need to have the expected players of the games, and then who else had a good game with the likes of Bryce Young and Will Anderson, clearly the best two players on the team and the most consistent players on the team. But a couple other guys stepped up and played well. There was some good, bad, and ugly, and we'll talk about that as well. So what's your overall assessment of Alabama versus Arkansas?
Yeah, it was definitely closer than a lot of people expected. But as you said, a win is a win. And if you come out and play 4 quarters and you're the better team, this is the outcome.
Yeah, and of course, there's a lot. You could be Michigan State.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't. I guess on a quick sidebar, how smart are these athletic directors? I mean, I was looking right now, and Joe, you do better. You and Xavier do better on the statistics and history than I do. When you get to be 51, you have a lot more data in the database, and sometimes it overlaps. But correct me if I'm wrong. In the last 4 to 5 years, other than Alabama and Georgia, the only two teams to play in or represent their division is LSU and Florida, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
In the SEC championship? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. So they're the only ones to represent. So the only two coaches to represent their teams in the SEC, the toughest conference in the league, the only two in the last 4 to 5 years to do that were both fired within 1 or 2 years of doing that. I mean, think about that for a second. We say that it means more. The SEC is the toughest league. And I understand firing coaches and stuff like that. But LSU wins a national championship, and within 2 years, they give an extension and fire their coach. And he's the only one that's been competitive in the last 5 years in the West. Okay? And now Florida has had they're getting ready to have their third coach in their their second extension in 4 years, and they represented the East twice in that window. Correct?
Yeah.
I mean, think about how crazy that is. What are they expecting? I mean, Alabama and Georgia clearly the best two teams in the SEC. And with that said, these two teams have managed to pop up and pop down. And then you look at Michigan State. They go out and hey, kudos for Mel Tucker for the level he rose to, etc. But he just got paid $95 million or some crazy number like that, and just suffered the worst defeat in the history of his school as an AP ranked team. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like these ADs, they don't get it. It just takes time, and if you can jump in and out between Alabama and Georgia, you're probably doing pretty good. So anyway, that was a sidebar. It's just crazy to think about, Xavier, that the only two teams that have represented the conference are both looking for coaches, and they fired their coaches within 2 years of them having done that. So, any thoughts on that? Either one of you?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Coach. I saw somebody post last night. At the end of the 2019 season, he was 40-9 at LSU. He had a Heisman-winning trophy quarterback who was going to be the future first number 1 overall pick. It set the record for most first-round picks from LSU. And 2 years, not even 2 years later, they're looking for a new head coach. And you look at Dan Mullen, who had a Heisman candidate quarterback last year, a first-round tight end, and within a season, he's gone. And it's crazy to think how fast some of these coaches how short the leash is. Especially when you look at Coach O, you're talking about 2 years ago, national champion. And
one of those seasons was a COVID season.
Yeah. And you look at, LSU is probably a better football team than their record indicates because of the number of injuries that they've had on top of COVID. You're talking about Jamar Chase, who sat out last season, who still went in the top 5 or top 6 of this year's draft, and he's in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Right.
You look at Florida's a little bit of a different case. Bad quarterback play, bad defensive play, but
I'll give you
crazy.
I'll give you I think, and they say you have to fire coaches when this happens. I think they both lost their team and they quit playing for them. But it's just, I guess that's the only. It's just, I guess my thing is, what's the rush to go out when these coaches have a good season? Why do we feel who is coming after Coach O? No one. So why an extension? Who's coming after Dan Mullins? So why an extension? Now, if Nick Saban was a younger guy and won, extension. If I got Lincoln Riley and he won, extension. Lane Kiffin wins, extension. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Coach O and Dan Mullins, no one was coming after those guys. Like if Harsin were to win right now at Auburn, ain't nobody coming after him yet. So why give him an extension? I guess that's my point. Is it's not just that they fired him; it's just that they gave them an extension immediately afterwards. But anyway, I told you that was a sidebar that just makes no sense to me. But fortunately for Alabama, Xavier, we have a coach that has been with us longer than any other coach other than the legendary Bear Bryant. And we thought he'd only be here for 3 to 5 years. So we're pretty blessed and fortunate to do that. And Alabama folk, y'all need to wake up and understand that we're still 10-1. We're still on course to win a SEC championship. And listen, we're going to break down this Arkansas game. We're going to look inside of it. I know it was 42, and we got some callers. We're going to go ahead and get the break here. We got some callers lining up. We're going to go ahead and get to the break. But 42-35, the game was not that close. I know it seemed like it was close, but I never felt like we were going to lose that game. And you take away the fake. You can't take them away, but I'm just saying you take away a fake field goal, and then I don't know why we put our backups in on that last drive that they scored on, but we did have the backups in for the majority of that drive, and was getting some young guys reps. Maybe that's why we wanted them to play in that type of situation. And so that's the way I look at it. But we'll dig into that on the other side of the break. Welcoming you to be a part of it at the Taco Casa hotline, 205-342-9904. Coming out of the break, we'll get to those calls right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Traffic fairly light on this Monday morning. The roadways are wet, so please just slow down and be careful. If you do see conditions, give us a call. 205-886-8886. Gobble up the savings today at your hometown dealer, Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. And I'm Captain Ray.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Velvety paper feel, exquisite colors, stunning scale. At Staples, we sweat the details and quality of every print project. Stop by Staples and try our Print Big Promise. We're committed to getting your print job right, to treating your small business like a big deal, and guiding you from start to finish. Get 20% off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends January 1st. Visit staples.com/services/printing for details. Staples, where small business prints big.
Football season's here, Time to cheer on the home team. Another team you can get behind is BMW of Tuscaloosa, your hometown BMW dealership. Our roster of players is here to ensure you draft the right car. Our starting lineup of new 2021 BMW vehicles is stacked with all-stars, including 7 sports activity vehicles, each crafted to balance dynamic power, spacious interior, and impeccable design in ways only BMW can. Visit BMWofTuscaloosa.com or stop by to get to know your hometown BMW team.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month and no contract. Plus, get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Breezy and cooler today. The sky becoming mostly sunny. Tuscaloosa high 56. A freeze likely late tonight. Clear with a low at 30. Tomorrow and Wednesday, the sky's sunny both days. The high tomorrow 59. The high Wednesday at 61. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 58 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Good morning. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Overflow Express Wash makes it possible. Go check out overflowexpresswash.com online or go by their location on Skyland Boulevard and or in Northport, right off of McFarland, up on the hill as you approach Chick-fil-A. That is Overflow Express Wash, 2 locations in Northport and Tuscaloosa to better serve you, helping you keep your car clean inside and out. Unlimited wash package starting as low as $23.99. That's Overflow Express Wash, overflowexpresswash.com. This is the Martin Houston Show, and I have X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston. We got Pat, who is on hold. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Xavier. How you doing, sir? What's on your mind?
Good morning. I'm really, really happy that they fired Dan Mullins.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I want him to be the next the next quarterback coach at the University of Alabama. And I'm hoping it's going to help sway Arch Manning to come on to the University of Alabama.
And you think that Arch Manning, Pat, do you really think the Mannings would be excited about Dan Mullins as the offensive coordinator?
Dan Mullins is as good a quarterback coach as what's available in college football.
Hey, based on Dak Prescott and on Tim Tebow?
Yep.
Okay, what did he do? Now, I will say he adjusted 1 year to Dak Prescott, but I think I could have been a great quarterback coach for Tim Tebow, and I could have coached Dak Prescott. I'm telling you, if you think that he would come here because of Dan Mullins, I think
he already love Coach Saban. They already know what the process is, and that if he comes to Alabama, that 9 chances out of 10 he's going to win at least 2 national titles while he's here. And that's a given.
But they may think he'll win that if he goes to LSU when they hire Lincoln Riley.
Absolutely not.
If they hire Lincoln Riley, that he may go to LSU.
Yeah.
Or when Lane
for Arch. if you look at the quarterbacks he's had success with, does Arch Manning fit that archetype? And he doesn't. He's a pocket passer. He's an old school style quarterback. And Dan's had most of his success with the Tim Tebows, the Dak Prescotts, who are more mobile guys, using their legs a lot. And you talk about.
And I like Dan Mullins as a quarterback developer of the dual threat style.
Now, if you're talking about bringing here for Jalen Milroe, yeah, let's do that. But Arch isn't the type of quarterback he develops.
Hey, Pat.
You're absolutely right, but I'm also hearing that Arch Manning is not as good as Build.
All right. Well, I mean, that's probably true. Most of them aren't. But that doesn't mean he's not good. Hey, Pat, I'm gonna let you go, but listen to this, Pat. Pat, he's going to Florida when Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss and heads to Florida.
Who does Florida think that they can possibly hire as a football head coach that can help them be able to beat
Lane Kiffin
Georgia?
Hey, listen, if I'm Florida, hey, listen. Hey, listen, if they get the right coach in there, they'll be right back where they were with Spurrier and Meyer. Florida is in the SEC, and they're in the recruiting mecca of the world. Think about where they sit. They sit in Florida, connected to Georgia, and close to Louisiana and Texas. They could be a nightmare if they get the right coach in there. So, all right, thanks, Pat. But you're already happy.
Y'all think Lane's already got a U-Haul headed to Florida, right?
I don't know where he's going, but I don't know if he'll be at Ole Miss or not. Especially if after this great season, Mississippi State still beats him.
Yeah.
If Mississippi State beats him.
Mississippi State doesn't have a chance in Hades of beating him. But I guarantee Ole Miss is going to beat. Ain't going to win the Egg Bowl. All right, that's my prediction.
All right.
I'll have a blessed day. All right, bye-bye.
All right, thanks. All right, let's go to see. We got is Greg from Alabaster. Greg, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning. Just kind of go back to what you were talking about just a few minutes ago with all the coaches, being fired. Does that not just show how focused you have to be and how in control of everything, all of the diligence that you have to do, hiring the right coaches, the recruiting, the attention to detail, try to keep the team on as much of an even keel as possible, how hard that is?
Oh, it is. It's absolutely amazing how hard coaching is and how hard and difficult it is for the job these coaches do. And like I said, I think the coaches, I point out that I don't know that the firing is necessarily wrong, Greg, in the sense that these coaches have lost their teams and you pretty much have to make a change when that happens. But I'm just saying that they win one time and you give them an extension and then you end up not being a good steward of the resources. Think about how much money is floating around just in the SEC on extensions. You just take three of the biggest programs, Auburn, Florida, and LSU, the only teams who have been relevant or beaten Georgia or Alabama or competed in the SEC championship game. And they got about $40 million. No, it's $50 million, almost $50 million owed out in buyouts. Just those three programs. 20-something for Gus, 16 for Orgeron, and 12 for Mullins.
But, you're saying that, but also, doesn't good football programs translate to more, especially a higher percentage of students coming from out of state, which is increased tuition, which is increased money? So it's not just the athletic fund that increases when you're good. It's the academic fund that increases. And I think that's what these universities are doing with these extensions, because if they've got a good, exciting atmosphere, because college kids want an exciting experience.
Tell me, why are you giving an extension? Why are you giving that extension?
Well, the way I look at it is, or my thought process for these universities is, one, the out-of-state tuitions, increase in-state tuitions, which increases your overall population, attending school. The name, image, and likeness that you get and benefit that you get from being on TV, is another increase. Plus the fact, if you don't have at least 5 years on your contract for your head football coach, it's used as a negative recruiting tool. So they feel like because they had a decent season, they have to give this money up in order to potentially keep these students, coming and interested in not just the football players, but
that's poor business, Greg, is what I'm saying. Is show me where that's been necessary other than a couple cases. I'm not saying you don't extend. I'm just saying, listen, if Mel Tucker, do you think Mel Tucker was ready to get, what has he done to get that money? He beat Michigan after being beaten in that game, trailing by 16 points. If Michigan could hold water, they would have beat Michigan State the same way Ohio State beat them. But they didn't, so they got the win, and that's what counts. But now he's gotten this extension. And is that, I watched that team for the first time really from start to finish. That is a bad defensive football team. Michigan State is a bad defensive football. But here's the thing though, Greg. Greg, who was coming after Coach O? No one. Who was coming after Dan Mullins? No one. Huh?
I'm like you. I am on your side of what you believe and what you're saying. But I believe but I also believe these universities, they're chasing their tail for this money pool that's out there. And that I think they have bought into the hook, line, and sinker of, that they've got to invest in the coaches, they got to invest in the resources, the athletic buildings, the training,
I guess
the food, everything.
I'm gonna have to get into another call, Greg. But here's the thing: these coaches are getting 5-year deals worth $5 million to start off with, $6-7 million. The guy at Vanderbilt, these guys are at Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, are making $4 and $5, $6 million to win 6 games a year, and 3 of them are non-SEC. And I guess what I'm saying is it's crazy. It doesn't pan out. But Xavier, I'll let you come in, then we have to get to Robert.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from.
I do too. I'm just saying
that's the atmosphere of college football. If you don't pay, they leave or whatever. But to your point, nobody was coming after these guys. If you want to give them extension, fine, give them more years. You don't have to give them $2, $3, $4 million boost when you give them that extension, which is what you're coming from. You don't have to outpay yourself, essentially.
I guess that's what I would say is that they seem to overextend themselves, then to only overreact by the pressure. So, but let's get to thanks, Greg, and Greg's first time caller. And I hope Greg didn't feel like I was arguing with him. We just have conversations here on here.
You're good, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Greg. Call back anytime, man.
Always later. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. Hey, and let's get to Robert. Robert, you're on with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good. Hey, man. You're totally right about the extension, what they did, but especially Mississippi State. And I don't think it has got any favors by giving them, championship coach money in a program that is not known for winning championship. It kind of set them up for failure when you do that. Because, the fans are going to say, hey, well, he's making almost as much as Saban and Dabo Swinney. Why haven't we seen a championship yet? And that, you shouldn't have done that. It was kind of dumb, but then the athletic directors who said they were all smart. I never said that, that's for certain. But yeah, I totally know the same point. It's been argued for. After other people argue that when they first talked about that extension. And wow, that much money? Your program is championship caliber, right?
Right.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But going back to the game, because we've had this conversation before, and after watching Ohio State play, I'm adding Ohio State to the list that I don't believe Alabama can beat this season with the way our defense is playing. Which our defense is just going back down to the good enough level where it seems to constantly be with Pete Golden. It was Curtis. I hope he's listening. I'm going to criticize Pete Golden again with a professional Pete Golden critic.
But hey, hold on now. Now tell me where, and I know Curtis Lewis is holding. Tell me what Pete Golden should have done different Saturday when two of the touchdowns came strictly, not 100% because of the way the players played. That was two of the touchdowns that made it 21. Okay. Then they stopped the team and the special teams gave up a touchdown instead of a field goal. And then the fourth touchdown was when they were trying to get some backups in that we said they need to do. Now go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't have said that they needed to do it in that situation when you weren't having a good showing on defense to begin with. So that's another mistake. Maybe that's Nick Saban's fault in the last touchdown.
I would guarantee you Nick Saban made that decision.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. It's okay. That's Nick Saban's fault. But the other it's constantly they're out of position. It's constantly. It means just so many times they're out of position.
Tell me when they were out of position. Tell me when they were out of position on Saturday.
Oh, I mean, well, what really took the bad angle? What was they took the bad
angle? What's the name?
That's on the players, not the coach.
I'm asking.
We can forgive that if it was just this one game. Okay, yeah, just one game. Yeah, you're right. That happens in the game. But it will be several games during the season. It was several games last season. It was several games the season before. The defense can't rise above just being good enough. So I tell you the case in point.
Robert, we didn't have a close game last year. Besides Ole Miss.
Well, Ole Miss and not Ole Miss and Florida.
Oh, in Florida. But look who Florida had. Florida had a Heisman candidate in quarterback. And they're in the tight end, a tight end that is breaking all of the rookie tight end receiving records.
Yeah, and if that was the only time I'd be fine with that. But they look embarrassingly bad, and the defense constantly fails the eye test. So like we were almost up to the point of convincing ourselves, okay, this is how college football is right now. We'll probably never see a defense as good as Alabama used to be back in the day. And here along comes Georgia and say, hey, you can still do this. And here's another point against me. Every team that we so far played, two teams, both Alabama and Georgia has played, Florida and now Arkansas. I think it's the third, I can't remember. And both times Georgia makes these offenses look like they can't throw it in the ocean and that quarterback needs to go back to high school. And they play Alabama, the guy looks all world. That's not a coincidence, guys. It's just not.
No, it's definitely not. But let's look at the Arkansas game. Traylon Burks' big long touchdown. It was a great back shoulder throw by the quarterback, and it should, to me, it could have been offensive pass interference. Should have been. He grabs Joe and throws him off, throws him 4 or 5 yards in front. He catches it and he makes after that he did a great job of outrunning the defense. Then you look at
number 84.
Job and Malachi Moore to set up the short touchdown run into each other. Pete Golden can't do anything about that. That's communication. At that point, it's communication on the field. When wide receivers cross, if you pass or if you stay with your guy, and they didn't communicate that. So and then once again, a third touchdown was a fake field goal. So I'll give you the one where they drove down the field. Quarterback makes a good throw. Traylon Burks stiff arms of Malachi. He runs in for the touchdown. And the last touchdown when they had the backups in.
But there are a lot of plays that take place before they even get to that fake field goal. And how many times do we constantly see anybody that breaks out of the backfield going and just to the flat is always wide open. It doesn't matter if it's a running back, the wide receiver, the tight end. Just hold them in the backfield for a few seconds. They're always wide open. Come on, guys.
Robert. Hey, Robert.
Communication. Constantly we say they can't communicate. Well, then, can't you simplify it? How come I'm not hearing about Georgia defense can't communicate?
Georgia will not have another defense like this anytime soon. That is an extremely senior-led defense.
Hey, but hey, Robert, I'm gonna have to let you go. But listen, Robert. Hey, listen, it wouldn't matter if you get caught up and you've been on Pete's. I'm gonna give you the other side. I'm gonna make you think about the other side. So I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying completely, but I'm also saying that I have to figure out what's happening with all these 5 stars we're getting.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
I mean, my attitude about this season is like other teams' attitude when they play Alabama. Yeah, okay. I'm not coming here expecting with Georgia and Ohio State. Exactly. To be specific. I'm not expecting to come in and win. I'm really not getting Georgia and Ohio State. I'm really not expecting us to win. But boy, if we have a chance, like they do with us, we're gonna roll with it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know that Ohio State has played a really good defense. Okay. What we've seen is them do that against Big Ten, and I don't know how good the Big Ten really is defensively. And Georgia, I don't think, has played an offense like ours.
Offense doesn't show up every game.
Huh?
That's another problem.
Do what?
Offense doesn't show up every game, and that's another problem.
But they don't have to show up every game. They just have to show up against Georgia. Right?
Well, okay. If we have an offense that can beat them, will they show up enough to beat them?
I don't know. I mean, that's why we play the game.
30+ points, all but one game, or all but 2 games over 3 years.
So I'm just saying that you don't know who's going to show up when, but I'm saying that we have the offense. If the offense shows up and the defense shows up, we'll be okay against both of those teams.
Yeah, to your point real quick, Xavier. Yeah, the time we took the 30 points on Florida, we barely hit 30. If we played that way against Georgia, we wouldn't even hit 20. So yeah, okay, yeah, we scored 30 on Florida.
But they may not either. Remember, it's two sides to the two sides.
I'm not confident our defense can keep them under 30. The way it plays sometimes.
Their offense is not impressive to me.
It has to be. If the defense has those lapses, all they need is a few big plays. That's all they need.
All right.
Curtis call in.
All right. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. I cannot wait to hear Curtis. I know we got 2 callers. We'll get to those, Chuck and Curtis on the other side. You are welcome to get in on the conversation as well. 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks and traffic fairly light on this Monday morning. The roadways are wet, so please just slow down and be careful. If you do see conditions, give us a call. 205-886-8886. Gobble up the savings today at your hometown dealer, Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. And I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help.
The IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522. Don't wait. Call now. 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, guys, you're having right now. You're back in with the Martin Houston Show, and there's been some chat going on over about some conversation early on about Dan Mullins and his ability to raise up quarterbacks. And, of course, Trask was part of that conversation. And Trask is one of those guys that, you know, people don't really know how good Trask was. And Dan Mullins get credit for turning him into a top flight quarterback and a draft pick. But Trask was a guy who never started from high school all the way through college until Dan Mullins started him. So he may have been a 5-star the whole time. So, but you have to give Mullins credit. He did find him and put him in a situation. And that's what Mullins will do. Mullins will make his system fit the quarterback. So with that said, let's get to Chuck. Chuck, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, you two. I'm doing fine on this Monday, leading up to Thanksgiving. It was quite interesting watching the Alabama-Arkansas game. I think about what you talked about last week with Arkansas, talking about physicality and also things just started happening with Alabama. You know, they won the game, but I was thinking about the fake field goal. I saw that even my parents saw that. They said, look at that. My father said to me, he said, look at what's occurred here. Yeah, it's just the same thing, but it's showing that that need to Coach Saban probably really, you're gonna have to there's some rebuilding that needs to be done. You know, reality is kicking in now, and also I was thinking about what I saw yesterday when I came home from work. I had thinking about Dan Mullins being terminated from the University of Florida. I'll give you all a Monday joke. Do you all think his name is floating around? He's at Jackson State. Do you all think Deion Sanders to the University of Florida?
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean,
never know.
you never know. I mean, if you want to make a splash, I guess if you really want to get under the skin of the people at Florida State, who knows? I've not heard that name, but I'm not saying it's not totally out of the realm of possibility, but I think they'd be taking a huge risk in this scenario to bring in Deion. But he may be a guy who can handle it. You got anything else for me, Chuck?
Yeah, I had to throw that in because Jackson State just won their the SWAC East, and they playing for the SWAC championship. And by the way, I got a chance to watch Jackson State and Florida A&M play in person. I flew out to Miami back on Labor Day weekend. I saw Dion coaching in person, and he worked the sideline, but now he's coaching from a wheelchair because he had this foot injury from old football injury. He had to have foot surgery, and he's coaching from a wheelchair, and he was out for 3 games because nobody couldn't. So he was in the hospital because it was some complications from that surgery. But he's doing fine. He's coaching. He has his headset on. But I had to put that joke out there.
All right, thanks, Chuck. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Okay, all right.
All right, welcome. All right, Curtis Lewis, your platform, sir. Take it away.
What the heck was that about the gosh? Okay, guys, 3 times summertime, fall, bye week. Optimum time for player development. Is it not? Is that not what we do during those time frames?
Yes.
That's coaching students. The coaches develop the players. So when it comes game time, when we have game time, these developed players don't care whether they are 4, whether they are 5, whether they are 3. It does not matter about your stars once you get out here. You have to be developed. Where we are lacking is our players are not developed. That's why when you get into players where a back shoulder pass was obviously not thrown intentional. That was just an underthrown ball. That guy makes the play. All right, why is our safety in a bad position? Why is our corner in a bad position? Why is it when we are in phase with a receiver, we can't find the ball? They're not developed.
Curtis, now, I would say two things.
That's not on Pete Golding.
I would say 2 things.
Pete Golding. Who's wrong then, Xavier?
No.
He's not. He's not
doing all day.
He's not the point. He's not the DB coach.
I will say I think we're missing Curtis. I do think we're missing Carl Scott. I think Carl Scott. If you look at our defensive back play the last 2 years, I think we're missing him. That's one thing. But you know that Saban's technique, they don't turn around. And you and I, we have been saying this. If you've been watching Alabama football, even when we had the great ones, if you had the great ones, it's like they would be in perfect phase, and it's like just turn around. So that's part. But when you,
How old is Saban?
70.
Saban is the CEO. Yes, he's a CEO, and Saban's going to hire the guys necessary to develop these guys out here. He can't do it on his own. Now he can hire the guys to do it. Now, is Saban hiring the right guys to do it? We don't know.
These are his babies.
Right for that defensive coordinator position, we know that. Now, once the defensive coordinator has been hired, and we get into the game, scheme, play calling, the proper players on the field, those things are directly affected by the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. But if you don't put the right scheme out there, like, for example, our blitz packages, we got blitz packages that they call it in elementary school. It's stupid. Anybody can see your blitz coming. Everybody knows who's coming on the blitz package. But have we ever done a zero blitz? Last time we ran 0 blitz packages, but when we had Pruitt in there.
And the reason
Toho had 2 sacks Saturday, and he's an inside linebacker. Who coaches that position?
Golden coaches that position, but even if that.
Hey, Toho is about to be our first 100 tackle player since 2016. Who coaches that position?
Drafted in the first round. So what are you saying? Toho ain't no #1 draft pick guy, is he? Is he a first round draft pick guy in that position? No, he is not. And the fact that Toho came in from Pruitt's staff,
hey, listen. You're not going. Hey, Curtis. You're not going to get any arguments from me about whether Jeremy Pruitt is the best defense coordinator Saban had and the best teacher, not just coordinator. Jeremy Pruitt, because if you go back and look, even when we had Kirby Smart here, when Jeremy Pruitt left, we were known for 3rd and Kirby, right? Because Jeremy Pruitt wasn't back there teaching those DBs and teaching that defense, because I think he translates Nick Saban's philosophy better than anybody else. But what I'm saying is yeah, Pete Pete he still makes some, I call them, I'm like, why type of thing. And I don't understand why we make so many mistakes in our defensive backfield. We make, Curtis, and I agree with you on this, we make a lot of mistakes as a defense that just, and when we make mistakes, Curtis, I've seen teams make mistakes and the team get 15 yards. When we make our mistakes, we're giving up a touchdown. I mean, we when we mess it up, we don't mess up a little bit. And the reason we can't run zero blitz is I don't think we trust our DBs in one-on-one coverage without safety help. And then when the safeties are helping, they're taking bad angles. So you have a lot of grief and a lot of gripe. And to your point, it's the development of the players, because I can tell you Saturday, 3 touchdowns came when we had the right coverage call or the right defense call. But to your point, who's responsible for developing those players? The defense. It starts with the coach, the coordinator, and then the positions. And we're not doing that. We have not done that with this team. And that's what your concern is. If we play good assignment defense right now, I think we're pretty good defense.
We have got to get to the point at some point in this season, we're talking about probably have a go. We got a chance to still have a chance to win the SEC. We got a chance to win the national championship. Yes, we got that chance. Yeah. But we all know we got a chance to beat a nail with a hammer about to drive us in a board. That's all we got the chance to be in, because Georgia's going to mop the field with us defensively. So we cannot hold that defensive line of theirs out. That's not going to happen.
We better put some screen passes in.
There you go. We got to get some screen passes. We got to get Leary in the game. We got to quit trying to make Brian Robinson anything to what he is. He is a pounding back, but he is not going to win nothing for you.
122 yards.
I don't care.
122 yards.
You fed him. How many times did you feed him the ball?
26.
26 times you fed him the ball. So, yeah, you got 120.
Just under 5 yards a carry.
That's not going to get you grabbed. What is that going to get you?
It's gotten us 10-1.
Hey, Curtis.
It's gotten us
Hey, Curtis. Xavier, Curtis. Y'all gonna have to carry over. I got 2 more callers I got to get to, and I ain't got about 4 minutes.
Because of that, because of Brian,
them got you beat. He's not gonna get you nothing but beat.
We're 10-1, Curtis. We're 10-1, and the game we lost, we didn't give it to Brian Robinson on the goal line.
Oh, we should be 11-0.
And we would be if we gave Brian Robinson the ball on the goal line.
For 10-1. You don't get a trophy for that, Xavier.
We would be undefeated if we gave Brian Robinson the ball on the goal line.
I love you guys. I love it. Yeah, passion is a beautiful thing, Curtis. All right.
If we gave the ball to Brian Robinson on the goal line against Texas A&M, we'd be undefeated.
All right.
We could have played Little League team and been 10-1. We still ain't gonna get a trophy for it. Doesn't matter. You got to do more.
Yeah. Hey, to win the championship, we have got to do more. I would agree with that. But I think it's both players and coaches, and you're giving more of the execution to the coaches not developing, and I'm giving more to these players are not focused. And I don't know why. Maybe they're not focused, Curtis, and I'm gonna let you go after this. Maybe they're not focused because they've not felt threatened. I have heard from 2 former players, Curtis. Think about this. I've heard from 2 former players, and if I said their names, you know them immediately. They said when they go out to practice, there used to always be this feel that second team guy was going to take my job if I'm the starter, and they said that doesn't exist right now. And maybe Kool-Aid coming in for Job was the beginning of that being an issue. So I got to get one more caller in before we get the break, sir. But just think on that, and we'll talk about it later this week.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate you, man. All right, George from Macon. You're in the Martin Houston Show. You get to close things out. Oh, is George gone? I think George is out of there.
He wasn't there.
Okay. Well, listen, everybody, that's the sign of a good program is that people are passionate. Okay. We are 10-1. And some of the stuff I give to Pete Golding, but I cannot give Saturday all to Pete Golding. I mean, I look at that and go, literally, I can look at it and see and go, Job tried to play a bump and run coverage, and he didn't get the guy. He didn't. If he hits that guy off the line instead of letting that guy throw him off like a rag doll, then that guy's not running free down the field, and he's not chasing, and it ends up running into Malachi. I mean, it's just all of those things happen. And then you look at, that was a pass interference on the other touchdown. But then the angles, they're taking bad angles from the DB. But I have to give a shout out. I said Toa would be the player of the game. And I thought Toa played his best game in an Alabama jersey Saturday. I thought Christian Harris played well Saturday. If we can get the front seven playing well and get the DB corrected, we're going to be okay. We've got a lot to get to. We didn't talk about Bryce Young's record-breaking performance. And even though Bryce Young had a record-breaking performance, some people said, hey, he's overthrowing the ball, and he did. He also had some drop passes. So it's a lot to get to, and we got all week to do it. Oh, yeah, by the way, we do play Auburn this weekend. And that shows you just how we feel about Auburn when we don't even mention them during the program. Closing thoughts really quick. Tell them where they can find you, X. We got to get out of here.
You can find me at X's and O Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, across all podcast streaming platforms. And since I won't be on with you tomorrow, I just want to go ahead and wish you and Mom a happy anniversary, 32 years. Thank you for being such an amazing example to me, Precious Morgan and Simeon, and to me and Tamara of how to be a loving and godly couple and parents.
Thank you, sir. That's right. 32 years tomorrow. God, can't believe she put up with me that long. Hey, I'm Martin Houston. That's Xavier Houston. That's Joe Gaither. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters for being a part of the Martin Houston Show right here on Tide 100.9. Roll Tide, and remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path.
Let's celebrate. Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show. For Alabama sports, Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9
You too, Jeff.